Hi guys and welcome to this channel. In this video you will learn how to build a multi-language website using React.js in a very easy way. We write a few lines of code for only one language and then you can add as many languages as you want without writing any code. If you are new in React.js, don't worry. You will learn everything about React step by step. So this is also a React full course. You will learn how to create components, use and reuse components, how to pass data to your components, how to create routers, how to create dynamic routers, and navigating between pages. Of course, you will also learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We will code everything ourselves and we will not use any third-party library. Somewhere on your computer, create a new folder. For example, React project. I create the React template project using the Create React App library, and I prefer to install it locally and not globally. So to install it locally, open your terminal, run npm init. This is okay. Everything keep in the default. Beautiful. Here we have the package.json. Open the package.json in Notepad. Under the scripts, add a new script. Call it new app. Create React app is the command. Save it. Npm I for install. Create React app. Now that we have the library in this npm environment, we can run that command. Npm run new app and then the name of our app, React multi-language. So it is creating a new React app in this directory. Beautiful. Now change the directory to your React project. Cd and here you can run npm run start. So this is how a React template project looks like by default. Now open this in Visual Studio Code. Right click, show more options in Windows 11, and in Windows 10 you have directly the VS Code here. So open with code. Very nice. So inside the package.json, you have these scripts: start, build, test, and eject. You have the default dependencies. Index.js is the root of your application. Then you have also the app.js. Normally, many React developers use the app.js for creating routers. Inside the src folder, create a new folder, call it components. Components. If you're not familiar with these files, don't worry. Along the video, everything will be clear. Right click on components folder, new file, home component.jsx. We create functional components. So function, home, return, for now just home, and then export default home, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, change it to about.jsx, about, contact.jsx. You can use Ctrl D to select multiple words. Change it to contact, save it. And this one is services. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, change it to search. For the search bar, save it, change it to language and navigation. Change it to top menu. So this is how you create a functional component in React.js. You have a function, the function name, and it returns something kinda looking like HTML, but it is not HTML. This is JSX. Finally, you export your component so that you can import it and reuse it. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, page header, I think it is best that we first finish the routers because it helps us to navigate between pages and see how they look like. Go to the app.js, Here we do need this. Open the terminal, new terminal. We need to install the React router DOM. So npm I React router DOM and hit enter. Exit. We don't need this logo anymore. Open the browser router. The routers and route. The first one is index, component is home, path slash about, component is about. Why it does not show up? About, let's put default about. And also when the path is slash, you want to show the homepage component. This one is for contract, this one is for services. Contact, contact from components, contact, and this one is services, for services from components and services. If you want specific components to be in all pages, you can add them outside the routers. For example, we want the page header to be everywhere, the search bar, the language navigation, and the top menu. So page header and also the footer. Actually, you also have to import the routers. Create a new component, footer.jsx, Control A, Control C, Control V, change the about to footer. Let us see how it looks like. Now here you have the page header, home and footer. If you go to the about, page header, about, footer. If you go to contact, page header, contact, footer. Services, page header, services and footer. So that is what we have. We have only one text, about, home and footer. Inside the src, create another folder, new folder, call it resources. Inside the resources, create some files, for example, resources or translation for the about page, about.js. We want the resource files to be in JavaScript. And then for the contact page, contact.js, services.js, and shared resources .js, Control C, Control V multiple times, because the shared resources file will be a huge file and we will have many contents in this file, so divide it in 3 parts. Shared resources.js for English, shared resources.fr for French, and shared resources.ar for Arabic. Arabic is not my language, but I add this because the text direction in Arabic is different than any other languages. So I want that they learn in this course how to handle the text direction and the text alignment when you change from one language to another language. Otherwise, the page will not look good. So here export const variable, call it resources. This is a JavaScript object, the language abbreviation, and another object. For French and for Arabic. Control C, Control V, Control V. We need to import them here. Import resource AR and import resource FR. Resource FR and resource AR. If something is not clear, don't worry, everything will be clear soon. Create also one file for home, call it home.js. Export const home resources. We will not have so much text as here, so we include all 3 languages here. We write code for one language, and you can add as many languages as you like, and you don't have to do anything to make them work. Let us start from the page header. So search and language navigation, then top menu. Import search from search pass data to your component and use it in your component. You can use propose. We call it language name. Propose the language name. We use the page header component inside the app.js here, and we will pass the data here, and that is language name. For example, by default English, but we will get this programmatically. How to get this programmatically? Inside the src folder, create a new file, call it library.js. We use this file to create reusable functions and then use them in other components. For example, export const call it long list, a list of the languages, en, which is English, the full name. If r is French, I prefer to give the language name in their language, so French in French, français, and ar is Arabic, this. Export const get language. Language keys. We can get only the keys of this object using object dot keys and then passing here the object, which is the language list. This is actually function. So object dot keys returns a list of string, so we can loop over that. Let I 0 while I is less than that. Long dot length I plus plus. If window dot location dot href dot includes long case I, if we have the language key or the language abbreviation in the URL, based on the language, set the text direction and the text alignment. So if the language I is AR, so if it is Arabic, document dot body dot class list dot add AR. Here is remove the class. And return the language key. Should do something to handle the first time load error. Window.location, we set this to EN. For example, let us say that the default language is English. Save it. Import get long. So the language get long, and we can pass it here. We also have to change our routers. The language key. If you want to add dynamic parameter to your URL, you can use colon and the name of the parameter. So copy this, Control C and Control V, and Control V for all the paths. Save it and let's see. Very nice. Now we have EN by default here. Later, to add more languages, all you have to do is to add the language abbreviation and the language name here in this object, and it will work properly. Class name page HDR. Let us sort from the search. Close that. Close the contract. For now, we don't need that. Close this as well. We actually do need to come to this page anymore. So close this as well. Close the about. Close the home page. And for the footer, we also need to import the purpose, and we have to pass it. Inside the footer, do the same thing, Control C, Control V, because we don't have to call this function in every component and everywhere. So one time calling this and then passing the data to your component is much better. So now the search component, give it a class name search. Inside the search, open a form. Action for now, it goes nowhere. Type text. We make it required. And also a placeholder like a hint. And also a button. Type submit. Inside the resource, add the search hint. Search hint, for example, React course. Control C, Control V, and Control V. You have to translate this using Google Translate. So open Google Translate. This is the text. Control C the text. Control V for Arabic. Control C and Control V. Save it. Now for French. Control V, save it. So for English we have, for the other also we have. Now we have to import it. Import resources, share resources, and here resources. Propose dot language name dot search hint. For example, for now submit, but we will add icon here. It is check. For now, you see here example React course. If you change the English to French, now it is French. And the same way, if you change it to Arabic, it will be Arabic. For the search icon, I would like to use SVG, and the SVG is this SVG. You can type this stuff, but you cannot type this because it is very long and you will make some mistake. I put only this part, that D equals to this in the description. I cannot put the whole thing in the description because YouTube does not allow angle brackets in the description. Or you can use the search icon image or something that you can download from Google. Let's see how it looks like. Now it looks like this. We definitely need to style this. So open index.css. You also have app.css, index.css. Delete all of them and delete all of them. First also for the body, margin by default 0, and also padding by default as 0. Font family, I like Verdana. If the browser does not support Verdana, then Tahoma. If it still does not support Tahoma, then Arial. And the font size is by default 16 pixels. Color by default black. And the page background by default EEE. You can create CSS variables that you can change in one place instead of changing in all places that you use that. So you can use colon, root, and curly braces, then hyphen hyphen the name of your variable, for example fc for font color, which is by default black, and then hyphen hyphen bc background color, which is by default EEE. Then the bar color is by default, for example 005 black but half transparent. Var, so this is the font color, var this is the background color. Then for the body.ar that we gave inside the library, here we add this class AR, but for this we also have to create a style, otherwise it will be useless, you know. So when the language is Arabic, direction right to left, and text align also right. Now for the search. Let us first give some style for the page header. Dot page HDR. Position fixed. Top 0. And background. Let us create a background for this. Call it BCHDR, the background of header, and it is going to be 005050. And width 100%. Save it and let's see. Now it looks like this. Width 100%, padding 10 pixels, display flex, justify content, center, border bottom 2 pixels, solid, var bar. ff6. Now it is visible, it is better. Search forum with a 50%. Also display flex and align items center. Search input with 100%. Height 20 pixels. Padding top and bottom 3 pixels, right and left 5 pixels. Border radius 9 pixels. Border none. Outline 2 pixels, solid, and this color. And the style for the search button, background transparent, cursor pointer, border none, and search SVG with 30 pixels, and also height 30 pixels. Dot search path fill white. Now very nice. Border left 10 pixels, and also border right 10 pixels. Beautiful. The search bar is finished. Now let's work on the language navigation. So here we get the path name. We split the full path name by the language name so that we only get the page name. In this case, the path name is /en, and when we are on the about page, the path is /en/about, and we only want to use the about so that we can change the language programmatically on the correct page without any error or without jumping to another page. So this is what we get: /about, /contact, /services, and on the home page it is just /. We also need the full name of the language. We have the list of the languages in the library. So here we have the long list. So long list, use square brackets and propose dot long name. So this is the key, and you use the key to get the value. When you pass the key, you get the full name or the value. So language keys, object dot keys, language list. Give this a class, language selector. About the namings, for human it is best to use full names, but for the machine it is best to use very short names, as short as possible. So that is why instead of using the full language, I just use long, because it is important for the program to work efficiently. We need to show the current language. So that is the language full name. Use Windows plus dot to insert special characters. And now here you can insert special characters. Go to characters, for example this one. And here we loop over the language keys to create links. Long keys dot map for the language. And it returns div element. Here we have to also pass the key. The key will be the language. Without key you will get error in the console. Here use slash plus the language key plus the path name. So this is our dynamic link. Long list. The full language name is the link text. Now let us style this. Language selector, color white, position fixed, top to 20 pixels, right 30 pixels, and for the current language, cursor pointer, position fixed as well, and right 18 pixels. Save it and let us see. Very nice. And for the language list, for the languages, for this, by default display none, background dark but a little bit transparent, padding top and bottom 7 pixels, right and left 10 pixels, margin right minus 30 pixels to move it to the right, and line height 30 pixels. Margin top 29 pixels and text align center. And when we hover over this, we want to display that. One way to do that is by hovering over its parent. So the parent is the language selector. When we hover over that, we want to change the display of the languages to block. Languages display block instead of none. Now you see, very nice. Let us on the top create all the links by default, the color white and text decoration none. Now you see, wonderful. Now we have only translation for this hint, and let's check. So now English, it is okay. French, change it to French. We are on the same page, and just we change the language name here. And in Arabic, we changed it. Now it is Arabic, the current language, and here the hint is in Arabic, and the text alignment and the text direction, and also the page direction changed from left to right to left. Beautiful. Back to English. The current language is now English. So it was about the language navigation. Now let us work on the top menu. Change this to nav. Give it a class main nav. Propose dot long name. Let us call it page path. Window dot location dot path name dot split by the language, and take the second one, which is the last one. Make it late because we have to change it. Page path dot split by slash to only take the text. If we don't have it, we gave it home, because when you are on the home page you will not have any page name. You will not get about, you will not get services or contact or whatever. You will get only slash, and when you split this by slash you get nothing, you know. So if you don't have anything, you say it is home because it is the home page. Slash language. For the home page it is just this. And we also gave dynamic class page path. If it is equals to home, we assign here current, otherwise empty string. You have to import the resources. Import Control C, Control V from going back, and then resources, and then shared resources. Resources, the language name, and the text for home. Here I span like a separator between the links. Give it a class navbar. Control C. So the language is the language, and this one is services. This one is contacted. This one is about. So here we also add about slash about plus slash about concatenate with slash services. My mistake here is contacted. We don't need this one. So if it is about, it is current, it is contacted, it is current, and if it is services, we give the current class to style it differently to show the current active page to the user. We don't have these resources now, we will get error, so we have to add them first. So home, in English it is home. Services in English is services. Contact in English is contact. About in English is about. Copy, Control C, and for the French and for the Arabic. We had to surround this with curly brackets, with curly braces, but now it did it automatically. Dot main nav, padding top and bottom 20 pixels, right and left 0, width 100% or full width, text align center, border bottom 2 pixels, solid var bar. Save it. Very nice. And then for the nav bar, color white, margin top and bottom 0, right and left 5 pixels. Beautiful. Background and the color to be this. Now we are on the about page, contact page, services page, home page. Padding top and bottom 3 pixels, right and left 5 pixels. From top menu we are done. Only we have to add these translations. We will do that later. Now let us work on the home page. Create another CSS file for only the home page. New file, call it home.css, and of course import it. Import dot home.css. For the images, go to the source folder of your project, to the public, and create here a folder with the name images, and inside this you need to have some images. Bring all the images that you use in your project in this folder and then use it. You can use any image that you like. This is the image that I will use for the showcase. So slash, which is the home page or the root of our project, and then images, then the name of the image. For example, showcase. To the home page, dot showcase with 100%, display focus, justify content center, and showcase image with 100%. Inspect it. It is better to work it here. We know exactly how much it needs. So this much is okay. 125. 125 pixel. Very nice, beautiful. The title for our homepage, welcome welcome to our website. I just copy paste from the demo. Control C, Control V, Control V. Home resources, home resources, and we have to get the language. Here the language dot welcome. Save it. Here, welcome to our website. Change the div to main. Call it home main. Paragraph. Home resources. Language dot home t1. Home t1. And this text. You can use any text that you want. It is just an example. Home t1 for the French. And home t1 for the Arabic. We will translate them later. And class txt center. Home txt2. We make it happen digitally. Control C, Control V, and Control V. So this text must come on top of this image. Margin top 50 pixel and margin bottom 50 pixels. Okay, very nice. Let us give it margin top and bottom 50 pixels, right and left 20 pixels, so that it is not too close to the border of the page. Now you see it is better and it is readable. Home txt1 padding top and bottom 5 pixels, right and left 200 pixels, and text align center like this. Catchy txt position absolute top minus 250 pixels with 500 pixels left calculated 50% minus the half of the width, which is 250 pixels. Okay, font size 90 pixels, font weight bold, and color by default white. Text shadow y5 pixel x5 pixels and 2 pixels blur on this color. Background dark but a little bit transparent. Save it. Voila. Text align center. Border radius 9 pixels and border bottom 13 pixels. Not catchy text on hover. When you bring your mouse over it, background and color text shadow X and Y 8 pixels, blue 3 pixels, and the color black. This is just an example to teach you about CSS. You can give it any color that you like. Very nice. Section promotion H2, Control C, Control V to 3. For example, by default 59% off. Control C, Control V. For example, this is web design. Text is 5, 39% off. These are our top promotions, up to 60% off. Database infrastructure, building your website A to Z. Control C, Control V, Control V. Save it and save it. Now let us work on the style. Merge top 50 and merge bottom 50. display flex, justify content space around. We want that there is space around every item. And align items center. Width 400 pixels, height 200 pixels, and max height also 200 pixels. Overflow hidden. Cursor pointer and border radius 9 pixels. And now the image, promo item image, width 100%, very nice. For the promo text, position relative, display flex, flex direction column, justify content center, width 100%, top minus 230 pixels, background half transparent 006, and color white. Text align center, height 200 pixels, the same height as the item. Opacity by default 0, and we add transition on the property name is opacity, and we want the transition happens in 2 seconds. And then dot promo text, when you bring your mouse over on hover, we change the opacity to 1. This is actually promo item. Promo item, on hover we change the promo text. When you hover over the item, you can change the child, but you cannot change the parent. Now you see, very nice. Create a new component, new file, call it newsletter.jsx. Function newsletter purpose return export default newsletter. Bring the newsletter below the promotion. So it automatically imported. Very nice. To make it look exactly like the demo, you can just copy paste this one and change. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, if you want to use the exact images as I do, you can find the images in the source code. If you go to accounts.com, you will find your way around everything. All the source code of all my YouTube tutorials are on my website. You can find the links on the page source code. Six and 7. Let us say this one 29 and this 49. Just random things. For the 6 and 7, building mobile apps, changing this to mobile app development, all around IT, all around IT services. Control C, Control V, and Control V. Save it and save it. See, we get beautiful error. We don't have the margin top actually. So empty 70, margin top 70 pixels. From the home page, we are done. Let us work on the newsletter. Section H2, create here, submit is in English, submit newsletter, subscribe to our newsletter to stay up to date. Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and Ctrl V. From the resources, props.language name .newsl, and here open a forum with action for now to nothing. Input, type email and required, and another input, type submit with value Ctrl C, Ctrl V, change this to submit. Open the home. Here we have the language. Pass the language to the newsletter. This is how you pass data to your component. So the name of the attribute is language name and the value is long. Here for the discount, we want only for this part the background red, color white. Background red, color white. Very nice. Newsletter merge the top 90 pixels and merge the bottom 50 pixels. Newsletter input type email. This is CSS attribute selector with 60%, height 50 pixels, and border none, outline 1 pixel solid 00 80 80, and border radius padding top and bottom 5, right and left 10 pixels. Ctrl C, Ctrl V for the type, submit, width 150 pixels, height 60 pixels, outline 50-50, background this, and color white. Margin left 10 pixels and margin right 10 pixels, and font size 40 pixels. For the form inside the newsletter, display flags, justify content center and align items center and padding top and bottom 5 pixels, right and left 10 pixels. For this also cursor pointer, input focus, outline 2 pixels, solid, this color. Let's also add placeholder for this. For example, full name at example.com. Control C, Control V, and hover over the button. We want to make its background darker. Background 0050, like this. But this did not work. Let us copy paste, change it to border, and there is another issue. The page header should have Z index. It should be always on top of all other elements. Control F to find dot page header, give it Z index 2. Very nice. Now it's okay. It's okay. In CSS, when you combine multiple selectors, it changes or increases the CSS specificity hierarchy. And the specificity hierarchy defines what style should take effect. So in our case, this one works because here we have class selector, we have attribute selector. Here we have only one selector, element selector. In CSS, the position is also important, but combining multiple selectors will overwrite the CSS specificity hierarchy. I talked about CSS specificity hierarchy in another video. If you would like to learn more about CSS specificity hierarchy, you can find the link in the description. Now let us finish the translation. Open Google Translate, select Arabic and also select French. Control C, Control V, Control V, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control C, Control V, to Arabic, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, I'm not sure if it translates correctly or not, because Google Translate cannot translate always correctly. I am only sure about the English because I know English. I know also a little bit French. But if your native language is Arabic and it is not correct, then it is not my problem. So we are done from the home page. Now to the share resources. In English it is okay. Now to French. Home. In French it is also services. So Contact is contact in French. Let us test it. For English, it is okay. For French, very nice, very nice, very nice. For Arabic, okay, 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 okay. Only here the translation it is not good. So let us change that inside the home. So here Control X. If language is AR, which is Arabic, we want to give here Arabic. Otherwise, we give here English. 59% in English. 59. Control X. Control C. Control V. Control V. Control X. Control V. Control X. Control V. Let us see. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Now let's work on the footer. Here you only see one word, footer. It doesn't look so good. Change the language back to English. Open the footer component. Very nice. Let's see if we pass the language to this or not. Okay, we pass here the language. Great. Footer class name main footer, concatenate this with slash services, concatenate with slash contact, we don't have the privacy page, but this is just an example, slash about. A specific tab on the footer just for the services. This is just an example. For now, we don't have any page for them. We've just double quotes and number sign. For example, web development, mobile development, infrastructure, networking, and help desk. Control C, Control V for social media, social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, and WhatsApp. This is for more. For example, jobs page, partners page, and some additional resources. You have to add this stuff to the resource file. So main is main in English, privacy is privacy, web development, web development, mobile dev, it is mobile app development, infrastructure, networking, help desk is help desk, WhatsApp, jobs partners resources, and more is more. Control C, Control V, and Control V. Let's see. Now it looks like this. and this one for the copyright. The class text center, copyright, paragraph, and then the copy icon created by your domain name or company name, and then the latest year. Now let's take care of the style to make it look good. Dot main footer, background, this background, color white, and padding top 30, and for the rest 5 pixels. Dot footer items, display flex, justify content, space around, footer items, div, display flex direction, column, line height 30 pixels. This is one of the CSS wildcard, and it selects all the elements that you specify here, or anything that you specify here that is the first child of the one before this wildcard. In our case, it selects all these div element. You also have here this div element, but it does not select this one. So it only selects this div, this div, this div, and this div. So let us see. Beautiful. Font size 14 pixels. Bold, font weight, bold. That's about the footer. We need to translate this stuff. So the main stays main because it does not make any sense. It is very funny how it translates. So in French it is the same. Infrastructure is infrastructure. My native language is also close to Arabic, so I can type Arabic, but I don't understand Arabic. The social media, is this the same in French? Because it is the same in French. Partners, resource is also the same in French, only we translate in Arabic. And the social media, blue, now let's check the translation. French, okay, very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. And Arabic, very nice, very nice, very nice. So we are done about the home page. Let us jump to the services page. Change to English, go to services page. We have here only the header and the footer. Okay, close the footer, open the services component. We also need this. Export const services resources for English, for French, and for Arabic. Very nice. Import the services resources and also import the get language. From the library. Give it the class page. We are on the services page, but it still says React app. When you're on the home page, it says React app. But on the services page, it should say services. On contact, it should say contact us. On about page, it should say about us or something. So how can you do that? Is using document.title set it to services. You can set it to whatever you want. Now if I go here, it says services. MX is 15, which means margin left and margin right. 50 pixels. Empty 110. Service resources. Language. Not take 01. Take 01. An example text. Below is the list of our services. And take 02. We do everything for you, or we teach you how to do it yourself. Dot page. Margin top 160 pixels, bottom 10 pixels, right and left 20 pixels. And also MX is 50, margin left 50 pixels, and margin right 50 pixels, and then empty 110, margin top 110 pixels. Now let's see. Very nice. Control C, Control V, change it to text 3, and for the paragraph text 4. The source is images slash webdiv slash 01 dot png. Webdiv. Text 3. I am just copy pasting from the demo to make it faster. Let us style it. Page item, display flex, justify content, space around, align items center, and margin top 50 pixels. Page item dot child item, page item image with 100%. Child item is the parent of the image, so the parent has 40%, so this one also will have 40%, so 100% just inherits the full width of its parent. Let us also change the copyright. Font size 14 pixels, margin top 30 pixels, and direction left to right, and make it important so that when you change the language page to Arabic, for example, that the copyright stays the same. We want to keep the copyright text the same for all languages. A mistake here, it is child item. Now it looks okay. Copy paste this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, page item reverse, text 5 and text 6. So this image dot page item dot reverse flex direction row reverse. By default, the text is at the left side, but when you reverse it using flex, it changes the position. Some improvement for the images. Let's say here AMG border radius 9 pixels and AMG hover opacity 0.8, focus shadow 0, 0, 18 pixel, 8 pixels, and this color, border radius 15 pixels, like this. Except in the home page, we don't want the opacity on the home page, so home CSS, showcase image, opacity 1. It should stay 1 all the time. So now you don't have opacity. Back to the services page. Very nice. And also this arrow should be a little bit down. So this is A or D, merge the top 5 pixels. We gave this class at the beginning actually. In the language navigation, ARR-D. ARR-D. Control C, Control V, remove the reverse. Take a 7, take a 8. IT, networking. Networking, infrastructure, JPG, very nice. They should have margin bottom 50 pixels. So very nice. Now let's translate this stuff. Control C, Control V, and Control V. Starting from French, Control C, now it is time to practice Control C, Control V. Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. And having fun with Control C, Control V. French, French, Arabic, Arabic. Very nice. So the services page is also finished. Close it and close it. Now let us work on the contact page. Export, const, contact, resources, English, French, Arabic. In my case, there are only 3 languages, and in every language, there are not so many words. So I use all 3 languages on the same file. But if you have many languages, and for every language you have many texts, you should use it like how we used for the shared resources. Create one separate file for every language. Import contracted resources and import get language. From library, set the page title, contact us, contact resources, language dot take 01, Control C, Control B, take 02. Make this one a section. If you have header element inside a div element, then it is best to use section because of many things. First, using too many divs in your page does not look good. Second, section element is semantic element, so it is good for SEO. Open a form element, action for now nothing. Control C, Control V, LBL, subjacket, 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 email, email, type also email, ID email, email required, message, message, and this one is text area. Name is message and ID is message. Type submit. Text one is send us your message. Text two, we would love to receive your message, questions, and feedback. Our team is ready to assist you. Please fill the below form and we will answer as soon as possible. Text 3 is full name. Then subject, email, message, and send. But for best SEO result, you should also create translation for the alt texts, for the titles, and all other important attributes. Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, Control V. If you would like to use the same images that I use, you can check the source code. But it is not important that you use also the same images that I do. Contracted page, very nice. Give a class for the contracted forum. Call it contracted forum. Contracted forum, module left, 50 pixels, and module right, 50 pixels. Dot contracted forum dot lbl, font weight bold, and border top 15 pixels. Contracted forum input and contracted forum. Text area width 100%, height 30 pixels, border top 10 pixels, padding top and bottom 3 pixels, right and left 5 pixels, and border radius 3 pixels, border none, outline 2 pixels, solid, and this color. Let us see. Very nice. Some special style only for the text area. Height 70 pixel and resize only vertical. Let me show you. Now you can resize it also like this, which is not good. So we should allow it only to resize vertically, but not horizontally. So if you save, now you can only resize it vertically. Contracted forum, input dot focus. You want this style. And also the text area, Control C, Control V, focus, very nice. Merge top 10 pixels, border none, lot right. Now it is at the left side, we want it to be at the right side. So when you set it to float right, it will be at the right side. Font size 30 pixels, padding 5 and 20 pixels. this background and color white, border radius 3 and cursor pointer, and on hover background a little bit darker. Very nice. Now you can pause the video and translate these texts to any language that you like, but I am going to just copy paste from the demo to save some times. Hopla. When you're done, save it and let us check it. So French, very nice. Arabic, very beautiful. Now let us work on the about page. Change it back to English. Go to about page. Close this and close this. About.js. About resources. Export const about resources. English. About us. Now it is about us. Contact us. Services. And React app. It is changed to welcome from the home page. Document.title. Welcome. Voila, welcome. Back to the about page. Class page. Section mx50 h1 and paragraph about resources, language, and title. Description. HR. Page item. Section. child item h3 text 03 text 04 images about.jpg and about. So title, description, text 03 05 6 and 7. Title is Who Are We? Description is We are a group of super smart and hardworking people. Text 3 is about the company. Text 4 is a description about the company. We are creating website, updating and upgrading websites, teaching web development, hosting websites, configuring and setting up your infrastructure, and much more. Text 5 is about the founder, a description about the founder. I am Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft and Windows operating system. More than 73% of the world use Windows OS. Text 7 is the second paragraph about the founder. Copy paste this, Ctrl C, Ctrl V, change this to 5, 6, and take a 7, and this is about 02, and this is Bill Gates. Make this reverse. Very nice. About the founder, I am Bill Gates, the founder of Microsoft and Windows operating system. Blah blah blah. My biggest regret is that we at Microsoft did not invest on time on mobile devices, and now it is too late. I got all the cash, but still it is hard to see Google owns 80% of mobile devices. About the translation, you can pause the video and translate these texts and come back. I am going to copy paste from the demo. When you're done, save it and let's see. Now it is English, change it to French. Very nice. Change it to Arabic. Excellent. Back to English. Contact, services, and who. Now it is midnight and I am super exhausted. That's it, guys. I hope it was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and being around. Have great times and hopefully see you in the next video.